The greatest trick the music industry ever pulled wasn't making you buy vinyl or CDs or even Spotify subscriptions. It was convincing you that the gatekeepers are dead. Look around. We are told that technology has saved the artist. We are told that the barriers are gone, that anyone with a laptop and a dream can conquer the world from their bedroom. We are sold a fantasy of the sovereign entrepreneur, the master of their own destiny. But that is a lie, because while we are looking at the democratized internet, the structures of control didn't disappear. They merely evolved. They became invisible and deadlier. The modern record label isn't just a company that sells plastic discs anymore. It is a high-risk bank. It is a data-driven surveillance state. And most terrifying of all, it is an asset management firm that specializes in owning human beings, as crude as that might sound. If you clicked this video, you probably know the industry is shady. We've all heard the horror stories, but you have no idea how deep the rot goes. We aren't talking about bad deals. We are talking about a system of debt-based indentured servitude that would be illegal in almost any other industry in America. We are going to look at the contracts they don't want you to see. We are going to do the math they pray you never do. By the end of this video, you will never listen to a hit song the same way again. If you want to understand the machinery behind the art you love, and you want us to keep exposing these systems, hit that subscribe button right now. It helps us stay independent, unlike the artists we're about to talk about. Let's start with the money, because that is where the seduction happens. Imagine you are 20 years old, you are talented, you are hungry, and you are broke. A sleek executive from one of the big three, Universal, Sony, or Warner, slides a contract across a glass table. They tell you they love your sound. They tell you they are going to make you a star. And then they slide a check across the table. $250,000. For a kid working a day job, that isn't just money, it's freedom, it's validation. You sign the paper, you take the money, you think you just got paid. You didn't. You just took out a loan. A loan with terms so predatory they make payday lenders look like saints. This is called an advance, and it is the primary weapon of control in the music business. Here is the reality. The label doesn't explain clearly. That money is a prepayment of your future royalties. You have to pay every cent of it back before you see another dime from your music. But here is the catch. Here is the math that ruins lives. When you take a mortgage to buy a house, you pay the bank back from your total income. In the music industry, you only pay the label back from your share of royalties. Let's run the numbers. Standard royalty rates for a new artist are often around 15% to 20% of the wholesale price. That means for every dollar your music generates, the label keeps 80 to 85 cents. You get 15 cents. But you don't actually get that 15 cents. That 15 cents goes to pay back the loan. The label keeps their 85 cents as profit immediately. They cover their overhead and start making money almost instantly. You, however, are stuck paying off a massive debt using pennies on the dollar. And it gets worse. The label doesn't just loan you the money for your pocket, they loan you the money to make the album. They loan you the money to shoot the music video. They loan you the money to go on tour. They charge all of these costs against your royalty account. So you are paying for the recording studio, you are paying for the video director, you are paying for the tour bus. But who owns the master recordings? Who owns the video copyright? The label does. Think about how insane that is. You pay for the house, but the bank keeps the deed forever. This creates a debt trap. Your album can be a massive commercial success. It can generate millions of dollars in gross revenue. The label can be making a fortune. And you can still be technically unrecouped. You can be famous, playing sold-out shows, and have $0 in your royalty account because you are still paying off the video shoot from 3 years ago. This isn't an accident. This is by design. As long as you are in debt, you are dependent. You need them for the next advance just to pay rent. You are not a partner. You are a resource to be mined. Back in the day, the labels were content with stealing your record sales. But then the internet happened. In the early 2000s, physical sales crashed. Napster and iTunes broke the model. The labels panicked. Their solution was not to innovate. Their solution was to take more. They introduced the 360 deal. The logic was simple. We are making you famous. Your fame allows you to sell t-shirts, concert tickets, and perfume. Therefore, we own a piece of everything. This is the standard now. In a 360 deal, the label takes a cut of every single dollar you touch. Touring income? They want 10 to 30%. Merchandise? They want 20 to 50%. Did you get a brand deal to post about a soda on Instagram? They want a cut of that too. They call this a partnership. Critics call it a land grab, because here is the truth. The label rarely helps you book the venues. They rarely screen print the t-shirts. They aren't driving the van. They are simply taxing your labor to subsidize their losses. This creates a terrifying reality called cross-collateralization. This is the chain that binds you for life. Let's say your first album flops. You owe the label $200,000. Your second album is a smash hit. It earns you $500,000 in royalties. In a fair world, you would get paid for the second album. In the music industry, the label takes the loss from the first album and deducts it from the success of the second album. You can never walk away from your failures. The debt follows you. It piles up. If you sign a 360 deal, a failed tour can eat up your songwriting money. A flop album can swallow your merchandise profits. Everything goes into one big pot, and the label holds the spoon. So why do artists sign these deals? Because they want the machine behind them. But what happens when the artist tries to leave? That brings us to the most important battleground in modern music, the masters. You need to understand the difference between the song and the sound recording. The song is the lyrics and melody. The sound recording or master is the actual audio file you hear on Spotify. Standard contracts demand you to sign over the master to the label in perpetuity, forever. This means you lose control of your sonic identity. The label can put your song in a cheesy commercial you hate. They can sell it to a private equity firm. This is what happened to Taylor Swift. She wrote the songs, she was the face of the brand, but Big Machine Records owned the masters. When they sold her life's work to Scooter Braun, a man she despised, she couldn't stop it. This was the mask-off moment for the entire industry. It revealed that even the biggest pop star on the planet was, legally speaking, a tenant in her own house. But Swift did something no one else could. She hacked the system. She used a re-recording clause. Most contracts say you can't re-record a song for a few years. Swift waited out the clock and then re-recorded everything. She weaponized her fan base. She told them, do not stream the old versions. Stream Taylor's version. She utilized metadata to win a war. By flooding Spotify with new versions, she buried the old ones in the search results. It worked. The value of the old masters tanked. The labels were terrified. And their response? They didn't treat artists better. They tightened the chains. New contracts from major labels are now demanding re-recording restrictions that last for 10, 20, or even 30 years. They are calling it the Taylor Swift Clause. They are making sure that no artist can ever pull a stunt like that again. They want to own your voice until you are too old to sing. If the contracts are the cage, the algorithm is the whip. We used to have A&R guys who would scout talent in clubs. Now the A&R department is a data processing center. The labels have shifted the workload onto you. You see it on TikTok every day. Artists begging you to pre-save their song. Artists looking exhausted, posting 3 times a day. That isn't a choice. That is a mandate. Halsey, a massive star, posted a video saying her label, Capitol Records, refused to release a song she had already finished. Why? Because they wouldn't drop it until she faked a viral moment on TikTok first. Think about the absurdity of that. The label takes 80% of the revenue because they claim to provide marketing. Then they turn around and tell the artist, you do the marketing, you make the TikToks, you build the hype. We will only release the product once you have done the work. The artist has become a content creator first and a musician second. If you don't feed the algorithm, the label puts you on the shelf. This is called shelving. They own the masters, so you can't release the music yourself, but they won't release it either. You are trapped in creative purgatory. Artists like Ray and Sky Ferreira spent years fighting just to get their music heard because a spreadsheet somewhere said the metrics weren't right. If you think it can't get worse, look at the future. We are standing on the edge of the AI precipice, and the labels are already writing the contracts. They are scared that AI will replace musicians, so their strategy is to own the AI. New contracts are starting to appear that ask artists to sign over simulation rights. They want the right to train an AI on your voice. They want the right to create digital replicas of you. The endgame is absolutely terrifying. Imagine a world where the label doesn't need you to come to a studio. They don't need you to be in a good mood. They don't even need you to be alive. If they own the voice model, they can generate new songs forever. They can feature your digital ghost on a track with a new artist. At this point, they are trying to separate the labor, the human being, from the product, the voice. This isn't science fiction. The legislation is being fought over right now in California with bills like AB 1836. The labels are trying to secure their asset base for a post-human future. The narrative of the music industry has always been about excess and celebrity culture. That is a distraction. The real story is about intellectual property, accounting tricks, and the systematic extraction of value from creators. The label's primary product is not music, it is the rights to music. They manufacture consent through debt. They enforce loyalty through law. They dictate culture through algorithms. But the fourth wall is breaking. Artists are speaking out. Fans are learning what recoupment means. The mask-off moments are happening faster and faster. You have the power to change this. Support independent artists. Buy physical media or direct downloads where the money goes to the creator. Stop worshiping the viral moment and start valuing the human being behind the microphone. The machine only works if we keep feeding it. If this video made you angry, good. Use that energy. Share this video with a friend who loves music. Leave a comment below about an artist you think got screwed by their label. We want to hear your stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep digging into the industries that own our culture. Thanks for watching.